All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, excited to be talking to an individual who is set to compete at Bellator 295, which goes down on April 22nd, and a very intriguing featherweight fight as Weber Almeida and Keoni Diggs get out there to test skills, and great getting to have Keoni on the show. How's everything going, man? How's your day going?
It's going. We're just finishing up the last hard week, you know what I mean? As far as strength and conditioning wise, had sprints this morning. Yeah, feeling good though, man. Feeling good. Everything's going good.
And I'm curious, are you getting in work out of the Hawaii Elite MMA? I've been seeing that on the Bellator profile at least, and on the Tapology it says you're fighting out of Glendale, so I guess I was kind of curious in that regard. Like, are you mostly training out of Hawaii Elite MMA, you'd say?
Okay, so to long story short, yeah, my first part of my pro career, I moved back home in 2019, but I basically split time out of Gracie Technics and Hawaii Elite. It's just what they say on the Bellator profile deal. So yeah, I just split my time. I'm at what? Yeah. Gracie Technics with Rylan Lazarus and Ivan, and at Hawaii Elite with Charles and with Darren Yap at Tactical. So those are my three gyms that I'm representing.
Yeah, and I feel like this would be a big one as far as representation and all, just with it being like this big doubleheader in Hawaii and you being from there and everything. Like, what was the excitement level when this bout offer came your way? I think it would be a cloud nine kind of situation.
I mean, yeah, but it was expected. We kind of had a feeling that they were coming back. If you know, the Bellator loves to come out here, especially the people that work for them as well. Everybody loves to come out here. It's like a work vacay type of deal for everybody. The fans come out and support fully. You know what I mean? Hawaii loves MMA, and the fans show nothing but love and support. Whenever they do put something like this magnitude of a show on in Hawaii, so you know it kind of appeases all parties involved, if you'd say. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't have to leave home or whatever, but I just, you know, work's not done. Last time I fought in Hawaii, I didn't get the decision that I thought I deserved. So not really looking past anything but that Saturday night, bro, and just getting locked in and getting focused and ready to have a performance of my life.
Yeah, for sure, and I'm kind of curious because, I mean, you did bring that up there. I guess I'm curious, is there any possible, like, redemptive element to this fight, just being that you fought before in Hawaii? And, I mean, it was a close call in as far as it being, you know, a split decision and everything like that, but is there a level of redemption to be found in this fight getting to compete again in Hawaii, or not so much?
Nah, not really. I just want to go. If we was fighting in Hawaii, or we was fighting in Africa, or China, or whatever it may be, the mindset don't change. The focus doesn't change. Nothing changes. Just like the laser locked in and ready to have a performance of my life. All those are neither here nor there. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine you're working on some, you know, particular things that you're very much excited to showcase and stuff like that. And I would think there'd be a certain level of momentum to be found in, you know, that unanimous decision you secured in your last outing. Seemed like a comprehensive effort in October to get back to the win column. Like, what were the main, I guess, takeaways you had from that Ricardo fight and everything?
I mean, we're fighting a totally different opponent this time out. A little bit more of a karate style striker guy. But as far as the mindset, yeah, back in October, man, that was a must win for me. Like I said in some interviews excuse me. Like I said in some interviews that I've done before, is man, I didn't win that fight. I possibly might not have a job anymore. I might not be employed with Bellator. So that was a must win situation for me at that time. Well, they're all must wins. But that one had a little bit more, I guess, element of pressure behind it. This one does as well too. I definitely want to definitely, I guess in some sort, not redemption, but just, I definitely want a different outcome, and I don't plan on making the judges have a hard time with this one. If I don't finish it, the judges, they won't have their hands full with coming up with a decision for this fight, for sure.
I mean, that must have been such a relief, though. Like, you talked about just the mentality, and like maybe Bellator wouldn't even have had you back after that. That must be a curious spot to be in, because like I said, the two previous ones were you very closely contested split decisions and stuff like that. Like, how, I guess, pronounced was that relief there with the last one? I would think it'd be like a weight off the shoulders kind of thing.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, for sure. Like I said, stopped and appreciated everything, and I'm still super pumped to be part of Bellator and on the roster and whatnot. And there was a weight lifted, but very short lived. You know how it is, man. It's you stop and appreciate everything. You take your second and realize, and then you just get back to work, man. It's just work. It's just work. Like I said, that was in October. Come April 22nd, it's a whole different. You just do it again. You keep doing it. And keep doing it. And keep doing it. And keep doing it. But there's nothing really too much. Yeah, not at all. No, it's not like I feel like I'm out of the park free. It's the same intensity. Same intensity, same focus I had October 1st. I'm bringing it April 22nd.
Yeah, for sure. And like we're kind of saying, every fight is ultimately the most important fight. Like, it takes paramount importance, and it seems, yeah. I was just gonna say, it seems like you were indicating a certain pronounced level of awareness with your opponent, at least in as far as noticing some of the habits he has that differentiates him from the last opponent. Like, in terms of, I guess, his resume and I guess some of the X's and O's of what he does well in the cage. Like, can you speak to that in terms of just your thoughts on his resume and the skill set you think Weber Almeida has?
He looks to be pretty explosive. Moves well, has good power. And that's what I see from him. This is a tough fight. But there's nothing I see that doesn't make me think I can't get the job done. And as far as like his resume, I don't think he's fought guys as good as I have. Just to be frank about it, I don't think he has. He hasn't fought guys like Weichel or Campos. So I don't know, but maybe he'll prove me wrong, or maybe he won't. But I know what I'm coming in there to do. There's no guarantees in fighting, but I'm aware of his skill set, but I'm also aware of mine, and I have full faith in my abilities to take care of the job, get the job done, April 22nd.
Yeah, I mean, how important was that Campos win? That seemed like a great feather in the cap, just in the sense of you had like the very dominant, comprehensive performance, and then the buzzer beater submission. I mean, did that kind of check off all the boxes, that performance there?
It did, but when you're so ingrained in the moment, you don't think about any of that. I just knew I was trying to win the fight. And I'm always trying to look for a finish. I'm always trying to, when you're just, like I said, ingrained in that process and in the present moment, you don't really think about any of those things. And that's honestly when I do my best. So I just try to get back to that place mentally of just fighting, man. Just fighting. Intelligently, of course, but not overthinking or not thinking about outcomes. Just performing well and staying in that moment, staying laser sharp focus. That's when Keoni Diggs is at his best. That's what got me to 9-0 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? In my brain, I 12-0. You know what I mean? I only lost those split decision losses, which I felt I won. I rewatched those fights several times. But you know what they say, don't leave it to the judges. And I don't plan on doing that this month.
I mean, it's interesting to hear you talk about the mentality with everything and how, I guess, present you like to be and everything like that, and getting in that flow state, and how that's when you, I guess, ultimately perform your best. Like, how do you go about refining that part of the game? Like, just getting in that, state of fluidity and just being hyper present. Like, you strike me as someone that's, very present and focused right now as we're talking, but how do you, I guess, keep building on that for, I guess, your competitive benefit?
I guess practice makes perfect. I've been doing this for a little while, and just constant reminders. I mean, it's you get hundreds of reps, whether it be in practice. You know what I mean? Like, practice is staying focused, whether it's running sprints, dialed in on that sprint, on that rep, on that 10 seconds, on that 20 seconds. Same thing with the circuits, same thing with sparring, same thing with anything that I'm doing in the gym. I try to have very intense focus on it. So I'm not thinking about what I'm doing after. I'm not thinking about lunch. I'm not thinking about just nothing. It's that. This is my job, so you know what I mean? And I guess after a while, like I said, you just keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. Things start to come habitual. So just over time, man, it gets a little bit easier. But I mean, my mind still jumps around and all this kinds of stuff. Like, I was one of those. Excuse me. I was one of those ADHD kids, so I was pretty gnarly. So you know what I mean. But I guess what makes you laser sharp focused too is just like how much everything means to you, and then of course the level of danger. You don't really have moments where you can have mental lapses in the cage, because as soon as maybe you start thinking about something else, something really bad can happen. You don't play fighting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of weighty considerations, to say the very least. Like, I guess in saying that and talking about that, how do you, I guess, find yourself in certain situations kind of decompressing from that and relaxing a bit? I would think that would also have to be part of it. Like, I mean, as much as there's the physical recuperation, maybe there's a certain level of, I don't know how you'd phrase it, maybe mental or spiritual recuperation even. Like, what do you do, I guess, hobbies-wise, like outside of training, to kind of decompress and unwind a bit from all that?
You know, it's the longer I've been doing this, it's easier to turn it off sometimes. Sometimes you catch your mind, but like when I walk out the gym, it's back to just like normal life. And I guess, you know what, the job never does really stop. I may have a little pause after April 22nd, then I'll decompress. But as of right now, everything's still kind of geared toward April 22nd, whether it be Sunday, sitting at home, not doing shit, maybe going to the beach, but you're still planning meals. You're still planning recovery sessions. Man, it's a 25/8 type of job, you know. I don't really decompress that much. Sure, watch some movies and do things like that, but everything is kind of, it assists the main goal I have, April 22nd. So I don't really get too far away from it. Yes, intensity. It won't be so intense on recovery or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't really. It's not too much of a mental break. Like I said yesterday, still focused on eating every 3 hours, every 3-4 hours, small meals, making sure we're cutting stuff off. Still going for a run in the morning. And then I guess I said, when I step outside the gym too, of course, there's chores at home. You gotta do laundry, you gotta bathe your dog and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like normal stuff, clean out the truck, and they just do normal things in life as well. So I guess that kind of breaks up the monotony of how intense, and I try to focus myself on the fight. But yeah, the job ain't really done till April 22nd, till I raise my hand. And then, like I said, you can decompress for a little bit mentally as far as that. But, yeah, man, everything is pretty much locked in and going right now. There's not a whole lot of other things going on that concerns me.
No, I love to hear that, and it's just such a great thing to see. Like, I was kind of thinking about something you were saying earlier, just like the regularity of Bellator going to Hawaii, and just really love to see it, because like I remember some of the days of like Rumble on the Rock and different events like that, and just such a vibrant scene for a while. So good to see Bellator kind of rekindling that flame and everything.
Yes, we used to have some crazy shows, man. We've had some world-class shows and world-class athletes. Lucky enough to be in not in Bellator, but in the Blaisdell. from Robbie Lawler to Anderson Silva to Rich Franklin to all these Hall of Fame guys. They've all fought here. And one thing about Hawaii, like I said, the fans, they love and support the fights. And it is something in the culture as well. It's part of our culture for sure. It is definitely one of the bigger. Football, baseball, a little bit of golf, and fighting. That's what we kind of produce. We produce a lot of that over here for some reason.
Did you notice a fair bit of that in your upbringing, like people getting together to kind of watch the fights? Like, I guess, how did you initially, discover it? Was it through, like, that kind of, communal interaction sort of thing, like everyone gathering to peep the fight sort of thing? Like, how did MMA get on your radar initially?
No, not at all. So, long story short, man, my parents still are the Jehovah's Witnesses, so that doesn't coincide with my current career, you know?
Yeah.
And just frankly, I got bullied a lot, man. I grew up getting bullied, grew up getting picked on. I always had a big mouth. I just was writing a lot of checks my ass couldn't cash. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to be able to defend myself. And I remember my cousin told this story several times over several interviews, but we'll go over it again. It's my cousin's, rest in peace, my cousin Scott. He bought me my first ticket to a Blaisdell event, which was a Super Bowl. It was Fallen Eagle when he fought Masanori Suda, and he knocked him out with a Superman punch. And I kept hearing their gym being announced because there was a bunch of guys on the card from this gym at the time called 8085 Factory. And that's how I got into everything, man. I said, man, I want to go train down there. I was living down the road at that time in Wapau. And I said, hey, you know what, I'm going to try that. Like I said, for all the wrong reasons, I had no idea what was in store. I had no idea. I never thought in a million years this would be a job. I didn't think I'd be that good. I just wanted to know how to defend myself, basically, and be able to take care of myself and defend myself. And then, so I scattered out like 6 amateur fights over like 5-6 years because working jobs, working construction, trying to find myself in my early 20s. But nothing ever gave me the feeling like fighting. From being how scared I am to being able to harness all of that emotional and mental energy into focus. And there was nothing like that sense of completion, that sense of fulfillment that fighting gave me. And now we're here. And I wouldn't trade my life for nothing in the world, man. I really feel so much gratitude for what fighting and MMA has done for me. Like, it's literally my life. And that's how we got here. It's crazy how things happen sometimes.
Yeah, and I appreciate the depth of insight. I just think it's so cool because, I mean, it sounds like at least to a degree you almost got at least partially inspired by going to, like, a big show and kind of seeing it in person. It's like, who knows? There could be a younger lad in the audience.
100%. Those guys look like, and I was just like, bro, like, be like those guys. They look like superheroes to me.
Yeah.
Like the toughest, most badass guys on the planet look like to me. And I still look up to those guys. From Fallen Eagle to Harris to all kind of guys. And it's just, I was like, bro, if I could just even be a fraction of what those guys are, I should be okay on defending myself. And 100%, man. Like, they say the highest human act is to inspire, and that's what all those guys did that night for me, that long time ago. They planted the seed, which like I said, man, I owe fighting everything. Everything I've got is pretty much from fighting.
Yeah, I love the passion, and I think it's cool, too, because I think you guys really have a great chance to potentially inspire someone in the crowd here, so really paying that lineage forward and keeping it going. You just love to see it, for sure.
Yes, sir. Paying it forward. That's perfect words to how to put it. Yes, sir. paying it forward, man. That's what we're even thinking. So after this fight, I'm going to try to get together with one of my other friends who's an athletic director at camp schools. I'm going to try to do like a little free seminar for the kids this summer when everybody's out of school. Maybe like 50 kids a day or something sign up, introduction into MMA, and they can try to get them signed up at either gym, whatever's closer to them, because one of my gyms is out pretty much on the west side, and then one's in town, so whichever's closer. But if I can give back to the kids, and you know what I mean, because just a little off subject though, but like, you know, a lot of bad things are happening today. Kids are killing themselves, or they're coming and shooting up schools, or they feel like they can't talk to anybody. I don't know if it's a generational thing or this what is it, Y generation or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't really know, but you know, I don't think people sometimes are equipped to deal with things. And if, like I said, if we can inspire kids and show them that all you have to do is just focus and try and work hard and believe just a little bit, and to know that every time something bad happens, there's something good that's going to come from it. You know, like, I've had my best days after my most fucked up days. And that's just, you see it just through experience. Peaks and valleys, that's life. It's not always going to be valleys. You'll get some peaks. You know what they said, what did they say? The night is darkest right before dawn. Yeah. And that's how I feel about a lot of things. Like I said, a lot of kids, I feel they should hear that message, and if we can just help them out, man, I feel like that's another way of me paying it forward, like we were talking about earlier.
Well, I love you bringing that up, man, and that very much is a very admirable thing that you want to do. And yeah, I mean, it's just terrible the amount of, you know, mental health issues and just things that, like, you know, seeing anyone go through that, but especially when you're younger and you don't really, I guess, know how to navigate it as much. Like you said, a lot of experience can come to the forefront in resolving that and kind of deconstructing some of that. So that's hugely important that you want to do that, man. And I mean, you've been really good with your time. I'm just curious though, if there's maybe any kind of, you know, parting thought you might want to add as we're wrapping up here. I feel like that could even be a great parting thought, but just thought to, you know, give you the floor all the same if there was anything you didn't get to mention, perhaps.
No, I think that was pretty much my message. I definitely wanted to send that because, like I said, man, highest human act is to inspire, man. And if I can give a fraction of what was given to me and pay it forward to the community, to even one kid out there and make a difference, man, I'm fucking ecstatic. I'm stoked. Because, like I said, man, I owe everything to this sport. And I guess it's party. Everybody tune in April 22nd because I'm blowing the roof off this motherfucker and I'm coming for everything.
I was going to say, yeah, I was very much excited for...
Huh?
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead. It must have just delayed a bit.
I was saying, too, like, all the local fans can expect a hell of a fight. Because, you know, if you didn't know, it's super hard in Hawaii as far as housing. Everything is so expensive. People have to work more than one job to support families. So I don't want it to go in vain. They're purchasing tickets, their hard-earned money, and not to get a great fucking show. People work very hard for that. And I intend to. Like I said, I know me, Yancy, all the other boys, we coming. We're going to put on a show for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say your track record definitely indicative of consistent barn burner. So I feel like this will very much fit within that. But, I mean, I really appreciate you coming on the show and giving such great insights, man. And yeah, just really, you know, appreciate that to reiterate and looking forward to peeping this fight. But until then, you have a good rest of your day, man.
Thank you for having me, Ryan. I mean, Dylan, sorry, shit. Sorry for fucking, I don't know why I said Ryan. Oh. But no, thanks for having me on, Dylan. We definitely got to do it again sometime. You just let me know, and I'm down. Thank you for having me on, brother.
Yeah, hopefully the first of many. But yeah, until then, you have a good rest of your day. And like I said, very much looking forward to checking out the fight, man. All the best.
Tune in. Let's get it, baby.